My name's Steve Hillman. I've been with the museum since 2012. I served in the Marines for 6 years, with a year of that in Vietnam. After that, from 75 to 96, I served in the Army National Guard in a helicopter unit and a medical unit. Retired in 96. Like I said, joined the museum in 2012 when it was just starting downtown in an open house. I just like, being here with all the friends that the military guys that show up, the retired guys. We sit around, have our coffee, and solve the world's problems.
My name is Bernice Tackett, and I'm actually a transplant to Vilonia. I moved here in 1992. I'm originally from Minnesota. Went in the Air Force in 1968. Was stationed in Texas, and I was in during the Vietnam era. Then went to Kentucky, and now here in Arkansas. And we chose Vilonia because the school system was really great here. It seemed like people were just down-to-earth type people, which we love. Small community. And then I got to meet Linda, and she invited me to join the museum. And so I started working with the museum in 2012 when they first started back on South College. And I just really enjoy being here and paying tribute to all the other soldiers that have served, and those who have, and of course Veterans Day, Memorial Day, where we honor all veterans and the fallen veterans. So it's just a very interesting, and we have a lot of interesting facts, and every cubicle from every war is represented here. So it's a wonderful place.
I'm Harold Clevenger. I was in Korea in 1953 and spent 6 years in the Army. I am a relative new transplant to Arkansas since 2009 and became interested in the museum when it was first established, and been with the museum since then, through the tornado and through the construction of our present facility. I chose Vilonia because of kids and grandkids, and I really enjoyed. The people have been extremely hospitable and nice, and association with the Senior Citizen Center when it was in operation. And just making friends with numerous other people of like background, and getting to know people. It's been a wonderful experience, really.
I'm Jim McGraw, and I'm originally from Michigan. I've lived several different states, traveled around, met my wife Sharon, who's from Vilonia, and we worked together, got married, moved a couple of different places. And then when I retired, we moved back here. We're living on a couple acres of what was the farm where she grew up. So as soon as I found out there was a museum, I'd come down and joined you. I think it had been in operation for a short period of time, but not very long, and I joined that, and then helped them move over here, helped them build this building, helped gather things here. I had to stop a few years ago and step away from it, but I really enjoy the museum just because I'm sort of I guess an amateur historian, but also trying to teach people to come in. I'm surprised at how little some of them know about our history, our military history, our government, and all this. So that's the thing I like best about it. I was in the Army for 3 years. This is during the Cold War period. I was a paratrooper, 82nd Airborne in North Carolina, and then I spent a couple of months up in Alaska one winter, just learning to be a cold weather specialist. And then they sent me straight to Korea, and I spent a year over there. So I had a kind of a varied experience in the military while I was in for nearly only 3 years. So I really like this museum, and I still enjoy coming back and visiting with the veterans and the people working here.
Okay, my name's Melvin Birdsong. I'm an ex-sailor. I was in Vietnam 67 and 68. The good part about this museum is these people right here are my friends.
Well, I think one thing about this community, back in 2014, you know, the tornado took down the museum on College. A year later, April of 2015, this museum was completed and we had our grand opening. And that was only because of volunteers in the immediate area and surrounding area, even outside of Vilonia, volunteered their time and their monies to rebuild this museum. And I think that's pretty awesome to have what we have in such a short time. All the schools in the area, middle school, elementary, high school, children come and tour the museum. Now, I don't do a lot of volunteering on the weekends, but Harold and Steve do, so they could probably elaborate more on that.
Well, to me, the importance of the museum to the community primarily, we do serve the schools, the students, primarily at the end of the school year. But we need to inform the young people how we got to where we are today, and that our freedom today depends on what really young people, primarily young people, gave their life so that we have the freedom that we have today. And for them to, for the community and our young students to realize the number of people who gave their life, as for example, World War II, 477,000 soldiers gave their life so that we have the freedom that we have today. And if they did not, if these young people had not volunteered and had not given their time, and many of them given their life, we would certainly not be enjoying the freedom that we have today. And people need to know that. People need to realize that.
Not only did I volunteer here for quite a while, but my wife Sharon also was working here for quite a while. And she's not a veteran, but she came in anyway since I was so interested. And she initiated the bricks that are around the flagpole out there. It was her idea. She talked the rest of them into it and got everybody on board. And that's been a big thing for getting this museum, especially getting it up and running, to get the funds from that. It's also, like Harold just said, you know, it's so important to teach or let people know just what's going on, what has gone on before, what order they were, how things that, as you look back through just American history, almost it's war by war by war, because that's where you see the advancements from, say, 1918 to 1941, and from 1900s to, you know, up into the 1960s, and that's where they really show up. And that's also where a lot of the medical things have come from, in learning to take care of trauma and things like that. So we need to really let people know this, and not have people come in and say, I've never heard of, you know, what which came first? You know, was it World War I, or was it the Vietnam crisis or something like that? They have no idea of what things were. And I had one said, I was trying to tell them about the flag on Iwo Jima. We got a picture up there. I pointed to him. He'd never seen the picture. He'd never heard of Iwo Jima. And his very embarrassed mother said, I'm taking you home right now and teaching you a few things.
Basically, we're here to teach, like somebody mentioned before, you know, the history of the military and all the wars that veterans have been in. Like somebody said before, you know, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And like Mr. Clevenger said, that, you know, all these guys gave their lives so we could be free. We're here on Fridays and Saturdays. We give tours from 9 to 3. You know, and the people can tour on their own, or we can guide them around if they want to ask questions, you know, about certain items in the museum or events or anything like that. We don't charge anything for people to tour. It's completely free. We just operate on donations. None of us are paid members. We do this on our own. And like I said, we just operate on donations from the community.